Namaste, viewers. Welcome to Jaipur Dialogue USA and Jaipur Dialogue. And today, before I begin, I will definitely say once again, please like, subscribe, and support our channel because we bring you thoughts that you have normally not heard before. Please give us your feedback because that's what makes us improve from where we are. So let's begin the conversation. I wanted to talk about success. In my travels around the world and the work that we have done, I haven't come across a single individual who is not interested in achieving success in whatever they want to do. So success is a need of every human being. We all want to succeed in life. But how does one become successful? How do we set the standards of success? How do we achieve success in an otherwise imperfect world that we encounter all day long? Now we go to the MBA schools, we go learn tools and techniques of becoming successful, but we forget. Today I'm going to focus on one very important subject, that our ancient Indic wisdom is contained in Vedantic philosophy, in our Vedas. And Vedas, if you click on Vedas, you will find so many references, thousands of references made to that. So many of them will be from the Anglican point of view, not the Indic point of view. I have great pleasure in welcoming Dr. R. Narayan Swami today in our conversation. Dr. Swami, you are welcome to the Jaipur Dialogue USA and Jaipur Dialogue show. And just a bit of introduction of Dr. Swami. He's from Tripunithura in Kerala, graduated did his engineering, and he was also a College of Engineering in Trivandrum, came to the United States. Prior to coming to that, he did IIT Chennai, and did his PhD from Texas Tech University, Lubbock, Texas. He was awarded the National Research Council National Science Foundation postdoctoral fellowship for research in Virginia for a total of 5 years as a NASA scientist. He was the founder chairman of 3 successful engineering software companies, one IP and other 2 service-based. All 3 companies were successful and sold to multinational corporate buyers. Now, what is important here is that Dr. Swami has achieved those successes using Vedic principles. So, Dr. Swami, I wanted to ask you one very simple question here. How did you get inspired to do this research in Vedic, and how did Vedic knowledge help you establish 3 companies, do whatever you have done? And I want this people to know that in our yearning for learning, we go to various universities, but we forgot the teachings are back home that we have chosen to ignore and prefer the Western model. Your thoughts?
Thank you, Vibhuti Ji, for an very excellent introduction, not only about me, but the reason for this to bring out the Indic wisdom and how I started. I was born in an ordinary family in the Kerala, Tripunithura, and I had my Diksha at the age of 11 before I completed 11 years old. And then I did the Vedic learning and Vedic studies. I was good at school and I went to engineering school. I continued the Vedic when I was home, but in the early years at engineering college hostel, early classes starting and all that, I didn't have chance. But after settling down, I continued my Vedic studies, and the doors seemed to be open everywhere. I came to PhD to do PhD in USA. Then after PhD, I applied for this, and getting selected to the National Science Foundation, National Science Foundation is a very rare chance. And I seem to think there is an extra dimension working along with my qualifications that took me over there. I went to NASA. Then I came back and started working with a few people. And then after working for a few years, I had this urge. I can do a better job technically. So I got out and started my company. And it is an IP-based company, and I did not have venture capital. So I had a lot of struggles. And the solace and comfort at all those times was my daily Vedic practice, reading on our scriptures, Gita and the Upanishads, and the vast wisdom. So I found out in all these challenges, somehow or other the door will open. And I never felt any stress while running these companies. So immediately after selling these companies, first company, I said, I want to share this with my friends. And I started Vedic classes in my home. I sold my company first company in 1999. And 2000, early 2000 onwards, called a bunch of people. I said, I'm going to give you 10 lectures. If you like, we can continue. Otherwise, we can stop after 10 lectures. I want to introduce you. And these people who have not done anything about Vedas, they cannot even utter one word. They cannot even say, Om Namah Shivaya. These are my friends. They're all Sunday morning is golf. Some others watching soccer. Some others watching cricket. None of them have studied. They all came, and they came very clearly at 7 a.m. They will know. And after 10 lectures, no, we want to continue this. Very soon they started saying, we have a transformative experience feeling, we get calm, we are able to do our things better after a couple of years. Said what I started as 10 weekly lectures went on for the next 10 to 15 years. From 2000 early on to 2015, 17, I was teaching the chanting of the Veda, the theory behind the Upanishads, our Vedanta, our philosophy, how we want to proceed on things. And the thing is that in early, from age 11 and after marriage and I settled down, I never paid attention. My parents said, you continue this. Whatever achievements you do, please understand whether you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, meditate that time and do your puja, do your Veda mantra, and then proceed and do. That's all what I did. It was later I started seeing people are starting, why are you doing Vedic chanting? You are a scientist. Eh, I am a scientist and I understand Veda is science based. It is not faith based.
Right.
But for you to understand the Veda, you have to have faith to come to Veda, to our Indic wisdom. It will not take you too long, a few weeks at best, you will start becoming experienced because all our acharyas have said, Anubhavam eva shastram. This Vedic science is anubhavam, personal experience. And once you start becoming an experiencer, the faith drops out and you will never let go. That is the ones. And then I understood Vedas really want you, all people to succeed, all people want to do all their tasks with all-round perfection. You see, even a expert in MBA or physics is only an expert on that. But Vedas want you all-round perfection in all the tasks that you do, and you want you to rise in consciousness levels, and ultimately, eventually, reach to pure consciousness level. That is the simple philosophy, and you can do any work you want. You can be a lawyer, you can be a doctor, you can be an accountant, you can be a chariot builder, you can be a bridge builder, you can be a homemaker. No bar. Do whatever you want, but start spiritualizing your life by inviting the devas.
Oh, that is such a wonderful opening that you have. I think, I have two things to ask you and request you. Your initial first 10 lectures, have you kept them as a copy of that? Is it recorded? Is it copied? Can you share those first 10 lectures that inspired the soccer watchers, TV watchers to come back to you and say that, hey, we want to continue, because you made them that offer. Do you have that?
I will have to redo that. I don't know whether I have that. I never recorded early on. After later on, I wanted to do. By the way, those 10 lectures were on Taittiriya Upanishads. The Upanishad, I started with Vedanta, even though I should have started with Veda, because everyone, there is also a link here, because when I was saying this chanting Veda mantras, and we built the Malibu temple, and I was the religious committee chairman, and I was teaching, telling everybody to come and attend the yajnas and all that. I was along with doing the yajnas also. Then everyone was asking, no, that is ritualistic, and the jnana is in the Vedanta. So I went to Vedanta. So let me start them with the Vedanta. And I started the Taittiriya Upanishads. And I started the first lectures starting with Shanno Mitrasham Varunaha, the Shanti mantra. Shanno Mitrasham Varuna. Oh Mitra Varuna, give me Shanti. Shanno Mitrasham Varunaha. Shanno Shanno Mitrasham Shanno Bhavatvariama. Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi. Shanno Vishnurukramaha. Namo Brahmane. Namaste Vayo. Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi. Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami. Ritam Vadishyami. Satyam Vadishyami. Tanmamavatu. Tat Vaktaramavatu. Avatu Mam. Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This Shanti mantra I started everyone to say. They cannot even say Sham no Mitra Sham Varuna. What we are only saying is, oh Mitra and Varuna, give me Shanti. This is the Shanti mantra. This is the one that is started. Everyone, you learn this in the first class. Then I started straight away into the lesson. The Taittiriya Upanishad is in 3 sections: Shikshavalli, Brahmandavalli, and Bhriguvalli. So by the time 10 lectures, I have taken the 3 or 4 lessons of the first part, Shikshavalli. And shall we start? No. Some people are saying, there were few doctors, they were saying they have to take these special courses in the whole year, and they have to do a Sunday. It usually is scheduled Sunday to get credit for the doctors to continue. And they said, we are going to drop this and we are coming to your class at 7 a.m. I did only 5 classes by that time.
Oh, that's so marvelous to hear. And because you said something very remarkable in your opening, that science and the Vedantic knowledge, our Sanatan principles, have a real base in science and learning, which comes from that. It's not very, you made a very powerful statement. It's not faith-based. It's nature-based. It's reality-based. It's part of life itself. And that's what makes it universal. That's what makes it universal. So
you exactly hit it on the head, because that is the key. Even if you think, of course, we have all been taught the Europe in they were all the, so to say, dark ages. By 15th and 16th centuries, when they had some scientists, they say they are calling it the age of enlightenment. My goodness, thousands and thousands of years ago, they were saying the world is flat. The church was teaching the world is flat until that one. And Galileo, or whosoever that is, he said, no, it is good. And we have named it Bhugolam.
yes,
It is spherical. The word, everything is this. And not only is that, we say Jagat, Gachadi idi Jagat. It is keeping on moving. We have discovered all these thousands and thousands of years ago. And 14th century, they are still saying the world is flat. Someone who says spherical, he's put behind bars. Then he says world is flat, he comes out. Then he again says that is their science. And we have been taught that that is the age of enlightenment. Enlightenment, and our rishis were enlightened, and we have taught us all these things. Only thing is, we lost the rishis' wisdom. That is what Aurobindo rediscovered. That is the full story that will come later.
that's very true. And that's why the interesting part you again mentioned here, and I love that thing, we called it Bhugol, right? The ancients called it Bhugol. It was not for no reason at all.
Goal of spherical.
Exactly.
So what more you want? This earth is spherical. Forget
Correct.
about the 16th century. It says it is flat and all that. No, 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 no. Bhugola, they have named it. That is another important thing we have to understand. Our Sanskrit and our ancient words, every word you can straight away fully understand by from that word itself. All its parameters, characteristics are explained.
Correct. Correct. You also said just now, that's something very powerful for us to know, that somewhere along the line, the entire Vedic history, the entire ancient Indian wisdom, the entire concept of Vedas got lost. And you have said, I was reading your profile, and you said in our conversation earlier on that it was rediscovered. And you worked with Sri Aurobindo and Professor Kashyap and others to rediscover Vedas and bring it back. Tell us something about that
Yes.
opportunity that happened.
Okay. So the rishis' wisdom, it is all communicated orally, and rishis also used their disciples, categorized them into two. They called their initiate disciples and the commoner disciples. Which is now we can understand that if we take a group of 100 people, there are always the top 5%, the super smart, then there are the smart guys, and they are other in a class of 100. We see that. So rishis have discovered this 5,000 years ago. Those people, they taught them the wisdom, the secret of the Veda, the meditative techniques, how you become a rishi, how you can the Shruti, the mantras that are things you can see in their super conscious meditation, all that. To the other ordinary people, commoners who are working, think they don't have time, they taught them the yajna. When the rishis' time went, then and all these documentation, there is no documentation, it is orally communicated. And after some time, that knowledge lost, and only the yajna remained. And then gradually, in the case, the yajna got polluted. They had some decadent period in the practice of these. So many things happened. And there were scholars trying to bring out the wisdom and all that, the meaning of the mantras. And it is many people said the Vedas have three meanings. Every Sanskrit word has the adhyatmic, adi baudik, adi devik, and adhyatmic. There are three ways every Sanskrit word can be understood. The adhyatmic is the inner and the internal meanings that may not be, everyone may not be capable of grasping it, but the adi baudik are the material type meaning. And the 14th century, Sainacharya is the first person to translate all the Veda mantras again in Sanskrit, but he used the external meanings of the words, and that does not make sense in some of the Vedic passages. So it was in Sanskrit. Vedas are in Sanskrit. The word meanings found out by Sainacharya is also in Sanskrit in the 14th century. And things went on like that. By 19th century, the Britishers, Max Muller, and the Britishers, Wilson and Griffith, they took interest. They came to the Indian teachers, learned Sanskrit, and with their Sanskrit knowledge and the Sainacharya's word by word meanings, they made an English version of the Vedas using their English background and all that. But many places where the external meanings did not make sense and the adhyatmic meanings are needed, that these Westerners did not understand. So they used the word they did not understand. They used skepticism, and they said, for example, this has no knowledge. And 19th century, by the time Indians, they have not learned Sanskrit, our education system has been converted in English. Everybody knew English. They all learned Vedas from these Western translations, and everyone concluded there is no wisdom in the Vedas, and accepted all the negative characteristics, skepticism. And skepticism is due to many Sanskrit words are non-translatable into other languages, not only English. So they can, there is no equivalent words and all that. So, and for example, the direct meaning versus adhyatmic meaning, I'll give you one small example. Adri is a word in the Veda mantra. Adri means hill, but it is also used for inconscience, inert, and all that. So where they have to use inert or inconscious type thing, uh, that they did not understand the passage. And another word is go. Go is a four-legged animal. Cow, that is the direct translation. But it is also the meaning of knowledge. Say, for example, some of the Indian girls are named Gomati. Gomati is a name given to a girl by parents. Uh, we don't think that the parents wanted their daughter to have. If you only use go, the four-legged cow or the four-legged animal's meaning, mati means mind. The parents did not name their daughter Gomati wanting their daughter to have a cow's mind. Go is a ray of knowledge. That is what Aurobindo translated. That is the inner adhyatmic meaning, what they use. So what they really, the Gomati word means is, I want a person with a knowledgeable mind. That is the meaning of the word Gomati. But if you
Right.
translate it as cow mind, then you will say, hey, this person doesn't know anything. Yes, and they concluded that is what happened. So Aurobindo was the person in 1914, direct vision. He is a yogi, as we don't have time to spend time on that. Please study Aurobindo. If you have only time to read about one Indian scholar, of course, Swami Vivekananda, so many greats, Rabindranath Tagore, so for me to mention. But Aurobindo's genius, very few people have understood. Only if you read his writings, you will understand. What a patriot, what a great person. He had a direct vision and he found out all these adhyatmic meanings. And from 1914 to 1920, he started in his monthly magazine, Arya, he started the adhyatmic meaning, which was later on published as the book Secret of Veda in 1956, posthumously after his death. And the first sentence that he translates is there the secret of the Veda has been exposed. What a, not only he knew, but he's a man, he knows and knows he knows. So his first sentence he starts by saying, secret of Veda has been exposed. I will write it in the few next thing. If this is not explaining the secret of Veda, then there is no secret in the Veda. Who can say such statement? Only such a visionary. He is a saint or rishi. And there he completely explained what they are. And his time is 1950. I did not have chance to know. And not only that, if you read the Aurobindo's thing, his English is so hard and tough, very difficult. You have to reread many times.
Yes.
Especially in Veda matters, you need to know a little bit more Veda also of the Adhyatmic meaning, which I did not know at that time. I had gone to Pandit, I did not understand. And Kapali Shastri supported him. Kapali Shastri, Aurobindo died in 50, Kapali Shastri 1953. Kapali Shastri's disciple Pandit was sent by mother to US universities to explain about Aurobindo and Aurobindo Ashram. And he came to Purdue, and all universities don't have money to host people. So the chancellor there asked Professor Kashyap, will you host him? What a way for existence to connect two people. Here is a man eager to understand about Veda. Professor Kashyap also told me later on that he purchased Aurobindo Secret of Veda 1965, and he could not understand it. Then I told Professor, oh, you make me feel good, because I did not understand, and I was thinking I am the dumbest. I did not understand. So he said, so this Pandit, 1973, Pandit connected to him because he's the disciple of Kapali Shastri. Kapali Shastri has worked with this thing. Both of them died, but Pandit was the link to introduce uh, Professor Kashyap, and he gave him all the publications of Arvind Ashram. The collector was everybody. And from 1973 to 1998, in a 24-year period, Professor Kashyap poured on all these in his part-time after his professorship. And when he retired, he went back to Bangalore, set up a Sakshi, Sri Arabindo Kapali Shastri Institute of Vedic Culture in Bangalore. He became the honorary chairman. He sunk all his money, retirement money, close to 2 crores in 1998. He told me that. I put all my money and I started the thing. And in 2002, uh, 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 Jagirdar suddenly joined him. Till that time, 1998 to 2002, Professor Kashyap has to do everything right, published. 2002, Jagirdar joined him. So he became the executive trustee and he took care of all the Professor Kashyap only has to write books. He kept on writing all his knowledge. And Kashyap is an intellectual in his own right. Institute of Science Masters, Harvard PhD. His PhD thesis even now referred to as Ho Kashyap algorithms, even now taught to electrical engineering books. He was a very well recognized professor in Purdue. He has produced 50 PhDs, about 250 research papers, and he was introduced to the machine language, this thing, instrument setting that. He has received many awards on that. Such an intellectual. So Aurobindo's work, he had only time to translate part of the Veda. And Kashyap took all this into that one. And I was searching for what is the wisdom. I know this Veda is helping me wherever the doors are open, my tough times in my running my company. I am running an intellectual property based company without a venture capital. Nobody will attempt it. I attempted it out of ignorance, perhaps.
I think you have given an inspiration to many startup guys that you do not need a VC to start your company. I think that itself is an amazing sharing that you
I
can
had
do with
some
the
money.
people. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I had
No, no.
some money set up, and I thought, I know I'm a super smart guy. I know all the things. I can get this in 3 years. The product is that I can give a better product, and I'll become in 3 years. It will give me enough money and all that. But 3 years later, the competition and the challenges, and I am a brown-skinned man in a white man's world. I cannot. I had to sell it to automotive and aerospace companies, and I had. Let me put it simply: I had so many challenges, and 3 years, all the money saved is gone, and I am deeper in the hole. You know. And how did I come out all this in the next? It took me 10 or 12 years to become successful. And how did I come out all this? And all these times, I say it is the Veda practice that calmed me. I never felt any tension. Of course, there was stress. My wife was the computer programmer in my company. Then later on, she became administration and finance. So the benefit is my finance is very well taken care of. She will work with the bank and loan. But from the 20th, she will ask, how are we going to pay money to salary to our people? We don't have money in the bank, not only at the office, but at home also. So I was struggled, but he said, we have only 3 more days. Suddenly, an invoice that we have given to a company, in 9 days, it has come back and I paid my salary in 1 month. You will not believe it. It is, you can say it is a coincidence. I say it is all this, our Vedic devas, they are trying to say, hey, the Veda want me to succeed.
What the Westerners would say, fortune favors the brave. There
Whatever.
it is. Well, there's one thing which I wanted to say here is that I want to make it very clear to you. Vedic knowledge is so vast, and huge number of books have been written. And as you rightly said, it gets complicated. People are looking for simplicity of things. But I wanted to address that. Mr. Kashyap set up the Living Veda Institute in Bangalore, and you are going there next month.
Yes, yes.
Not this month, in next week, in next
This way,
few days.
10 days,
That's
15,
right.
16,
You will be there.
17.
You will be giving two talks, and I have
Yes,
requested you to record those talks and share with us.
yes.
I've also wanted to make a declaration here and invite to you. I hope you will accept. Just as you gave 10 lectures, you started that. I want to continue that with you in this conversation so that viewers can experience success firsthand. And to that end, I wanted to invite the people to talk about this element. Dr. Narayan Swami has written a book, Vedas for Success. Guess what? This book is only 89 pages. And this is the formula here. The success formula is all mentioned here. I read the book. In my last trip to India, I got the book just few days before my leaving, and it was my lovely in-flight reading. And I realized that how making things easier makes life easier. I'm follower of Albert Einstein. You have heard from me before. My audience I'm talking to, that I like Einstein's slogan, quote, any intelligent fool can complicate a simple problem. It takes courage to move in other direction. Dr. Narayan Swami, by writing a book, Vedas for Success, in 89 pages, including references, has made things easier for us to dive into. It is shorter than watching a binge show on Netflix or Amazon, and perhaps watching a game of 3 hours on TV. So I would urge you, get this book. It's available on Amazon. Read it. Let's have a conversation, because this is the era where I always say this era belongs to Sanatan and Vedic principles. And if we do follow that, it's for us to take the messages. I want to acknowledge one more thing here before I jump into the next question, is that Dr. Narayan Swami mentioned about Sanskrit untranslatables. And I think I will acknowledge my friend Rajiv Malhotraji, who wrote a full book on Sanskrit untranslatables. Get that book. Let's know our roots. The roots are non-translatable. The, the educated or uneducated or uninitiated people will translate it in their own language and then it's conveyed to us. That's wrong. So I want to come to you on this. Vedas for Success, the book. Why did you decide to do this book in such a short, condensed version? Because it is a very easy read, but also a very thoughtful book. So I what I would do is that I'm going to read this book again, because you have made charts, some beautiful charts here, on how to treat issues. So talk to us, Dr. Swami. How did this inspiration for this short book come as a kind of a manual for everybody to become successful?
This is a very excellent question. I tried
Thank
to
you.
be answering, but I have to make 2 or 3 points here. Namely, the as this I am convinced that almost then, as I look back, even though the running of my intellectual property based company, the challenges, paying the competitive spirit and all those things, that is the one that really told me, this is, I seem to have an extra. I used to tell my office people, I may be the chairman. No, I am only the COO. I consider the chairman. He writes down and I see, go this way. That is the level of something is happening due to this. I felt that. Even though I'm smart, I make my decisions and all that. Very critical thing, which way you want to go, I get some intuition of go this way, and 1 year later, what a great decision, etc. In any case, so when it is to that, I wanted to find out. So after starting teaching all these from 2000 onwards, after 6 or 7 years, I stopped teaching for 2 or 3 years and say, I was in a mission to search where is the wisdom? How did the wisdom come? And all that. And again, existence, just like existence uh, connected Professor Kashyap with the Aravindo Ashram books through Pandit, who was the disciple of Kapali Shastri. In the same manner, Manohar Shinde in Los Angeles, colleague of mine who has done service here, we were together in a Dharma Civilization Foundation Association. So when I was going to Bangalore, uh, Shinde knew Jagirdar, who was the executive trustee with Kashyap. So we wanted to ask something to Kashyap in the steps for the Dharma Civilization Foundation. So I had my company in Bangalore, my second and third companies. So Shinde Manohar asked me, Nansami, when you go to Bangalore, why don't you go and meet Professor Kashyap? And what this thing? So I have purchased Kashyap's book 5 years earlier. Is one of his Vedic translation. And I could not understand. After reading 30, 40 pages, I kept it in my desk. So when Manohar Shinde said, aha, this is the time, I went there and whatever the Dharma Civilization Foundation issues related, we completed. Then I asked Professor Kashyap, can I ask you a question from your book? Then he said, the Adhyatmic meaning, what is the root? The same example of the Gomati and one or two. Then I got the aha moment. From there on, then because of I am deeply searching. Once I got connected, aha. For example, one of the mantra that we do in the Sandhya Vandana is Apo va idagam sarvam vishwa bhutanyavaha pranava apaha. So apa means water. So apova idagam sarvam, everything here is water. Then I thought world has about 80%, that's what it is. Then pranava abaha, prana is water. No, it is not making water. So I am searching for this. So apa is not only water, but it's also energy. So when you put the word energy, prana is an energy. The breathing is an energy, and we are inviting energies, and energies are devas. So many things you have to learn. So you need to have the curiosity of a scientist and researcher to get to write a book to simplified manner to make it. Everyone may not be. So I, by search, and Kashyap said, so the Adhyatmic meanings is the last 100 years. If 1914, Aurobindo brought it. Others have attempted, but it was all, they right. Madhvacharya wrote, Yaska wrote, Raghavendra Swami wrote, but their time, they could not complete it. Even Aurobindo's may not have been adequate unless Kashyap. And so I had Dr. Kashyap. And Kashyap has many books. And even that books, when I read as an ordinary person with Veda practice, I could not follow. So I wrote a first book called Understanding the Vedas. That is also in the Amazon. It has good reviews and about 60s and all that. And it is 2 years. But everyone said, Swami, that is about 300 pages. No one knew, because I gave the background, I gave what the Western translation did and all that, so many things. And before coming to the meet, I already spent 100 pages and so many explanations are there. So that is to me a master copy than this. So everybody said, many people will not read. They don't have the time. Why don't you summarize? So I summarized this and put it. And Roshan suggested, you are a successful person and you are a Vedic person. Very difficult to find a combination. So why don't you title this book as Vedas for Success?
Yes.
And I must credit Roshan Shetty, my friend, for doing this. And I put that one, and which is true. And honestly speaking, not only in my engineering, now very many people have said, some of the Indian PhDs who are working with them say, how are you an expert in science as an NASA scientist and in Veda? You are one of the very. Then I said, Veda wants you all-round success in all your tasks that you do, not in one. It is not that you just go, I am a super surgeon or a super specialist and all that. You want to do some other thing, that also you will be an expert. Because the Veda, you rise in consciousness levels. And the non-transitability that Vibhuti Ji mentioned by quoting Rajiv Malhotra's book, it is very, very important. I will take you one simple word. And the Rig Veda, all the Vedas, Rig Veda talks about Deva. Deva is the word that has come from Sanskrit. Div means shine. So from Div has come Deva, from Div has come divinization. So Deva means shine or powers of light. How is that translated into English? As God. Totally, the game is lost right there. God means with the personal qualifications and characteristics and attributes. No, the Deva that Vedas talk about are supraphysical beings with consciousness and power and strength. So Devas are all over. When we say the God is omnipotent, if you define it as a person and whether in the Abrahamic religions or whatever religions, then you are restricted, even though that God can also be, with form can also be everywhere. This Vedic concept, how scientific and easy for us to understand. They are all energies. The universe has the, as the physicists say, self-aware universe. There is the energy, and it is the energy that we call. When you say in a cold day, there is a sun, you want to get out to get to the warmth. But sun is not giving us warmth alone. Sun is giving warmth also, that is true. But sun can uh, remove your darkness. And the Deva and Dasyus, Vedas talk about, as Vibhuti Ji said, we will come into gradually go and explain all these in detail what they are. But the Veda, this type of understanding, Aurobindo started with his, in the Secret of the Veda book, Kabali Shastri complemented it by translating some of the mantras. Kashyap translating, and Kashyap's books are difficult for me to read. So my reason to write the first book is to open out in simple language. It was simple language, all right, but many people said people may not read. Those who read, they liked it. Then so with this, I wanted so to answer Vibhutiji's question, that is this writing. So I have taken the essence from that other book. So even that book that I thought is simple, to direct them to Kashyap, to Kapali Shastri, and to Aurobindo. If you want a hierarchy, as you go higher and higher, it will become more and more difficult. So I said, this Vedas for success, I want to make it as simple, and I spend a lot of time taking the essence and putting that. That is
No,
why.
this is truly amazing. I can tell you, to the viewers and listeners, I'll say that I read this book, and I tell you one thing: I consider myself not a very knowledgeable guy, but I'm definitely above average, a little above average. And for me, the understanding of the Vedic knowledge was further strengthened. So that's how I will urge. This is the era that belongs to Sanatan, and this is the era that you and I need to take this message forward. Look at the words non translatable, how Deva, our word Deva, got mistranslated into God. And so many Gomati, the example Dr. Swami gave. Now, I want to come to another aspect of this one. You know, everybody has a trigger point. Sometime you like something and you start. This book is the start for everybody, just as reading Sri Aurobindo's essay on the samurai and the bourgeois was my learning experience. The very first page stunned me, actually, when I read that. Very first few paragraphs of that essay that Sri Aurobindo wrote stunned me totally. And if it doesn't stun you, I'll be surprised. So I would urge you, look it up, that particular essay of Sri Aurobindo. Now, coming to the other aspect, now in the remaining few minutes, because I want to have this conversation and an ongoing process with you, and I hope you will accept that invitation. What I want to ask you is that share with us your experiences working in NASA. Now, NASA is the umro nuno place for the scientists, engineers, and everybody else, right? You go to the territories nobody has gone before. So you belong to that category of people. Share your experience, if any, that you can recall. Working in NASA, how did NASA respond to your understanding of Veda? And how did the people treat you there, if at all, if you want to talk about that?
Yes, I'll be very happy. Oh, NASA, I went there in 1972 January. 71, I finished my PhD, and 72, I got the selection. I went there in 72. The NASA in the 1970s was one of the best places that anyone can go, because when was it, Kennedy, right? The 1957 Russians spent the Sputnik. So when John Kennedy was elected president in 1960, he said, "We are going to put a man on the moon." 1960, he made that statement, and he funded the NASA separate agency and all that. Of course, he did not live to see that. In that decade of Kennedy's decade, in 1969, Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. What is he said? One tiny step for mankind, but for a giant step for one tiny step for a man, but for one giant step for mankind.
Correct.
1969 and 1972, that together. NASA in the full glory of having landed the man, funding. And I go there and getting this postdoctoral fellowship for this, to be selected for the National Science Foundation, National Research Council postdoctoral fellowships. Very luxurious fellowship at that time. It was $13,000 tax free, whereas an assistant professor in Harvard, MIT, Caltech, Berkeley, and all that were paid $10,500 for 9 months. And then the summer is free for them to work anywhere. But this is, and they had to pay tax on their $10,500 salary. Whereas this fellowship, and there I don't have any supervisor. I only have to write a project that is of interest to me and to NASA, and I have to do research. And I go there in 9th January, and to me, it was a double-edged sword that I don't have any supervisor. And a person fresh after the PhD, while he has done research for PhD and all that, the day after, if you ask you to do work on your own, there is nobody to guide you. It is your project and all that. You have to keep on searching. And the first 1 year, I was studying, reading, and all that, and going to library, studying, and all that. And they will not ask any question. And it took me almost about the second year, second month or third month, when I had an aha moment. Oh, this engineering is nothing but mathematics and physics. That is why they say you must be strong in math and physics if you go to engineering.
Right.
Everything is Poisson's and Laplace equation and biharmonic. Once you know that it is plate bending, heat transfer, everything became clear. I had an aha moment, and this thing. And every week or every month, there will be top experts from different fields will give lecture. We attended all that. And I was continuing my Veda practice. I was treated well, because there it is an exchange of knowledge type thing. Anyone who can contribute to any discussion, they are welcome. There was no bar, no discrimination at all. The what other this thing is in the private marketplace that I was talking to you when I was trying to sell my product and all that. I experienced a there is another product locally developed. They always think you are a foreigner type. All those feelings together. But in NASA, you have the idea. Come on, you have the seat there. And the NASA in 72. But that was it. Then I started developing NASA technical notes. Then I started produce this thing. In fact, I have also, can I step out for a minute to take that?
Sure. Sure.
Show you two things. Yes, I have also received a certificate of recognition from NASA for R. Narayan Swami for the creative development of technology, which is the subject of a NASA tech brief publication entitled Resizing Procedure for Optimum Design of Structures Under Combined Mechanical and Thermal Loading, issued by Chairman of the Indian Contributions Board, February 16, 1979. So to answer your question, in 5 years, I learned a lot. I become an independent thinker. I understood that Uh, you see, when you do after PhD and you go to work either as a faculty member, whatever research you do, that does not cut up when you are given 2 years to do nothing but research on your project. And I was going all over, and I myself had to come to there again. This Vedic practice puts you in that thing. Professor Kashyap will tell me all the time, hey, is this Deva Agni and all that going to come and help you? What is it? No, you want to find a book from the library. You spend a couple of days searching and you cannot find it. You walk in over, many people said it is not available. You send somebody to find it, they could not find it. You walk in there, that book, someone has took it and put it on the table. You take it and you come back. That is what the Deva will do to you. That's what Kashyap has told in my private discussions. He himself is a man who has Arabindo and mother and done all this Veda. So many such, there is no way to say what this Indic wisdom will do to you. But you have to take that first step. As Vibhuti Ji says, let today is the first day of the rest of our life. Let's
Yes.
start it and let's this wisdom. That is what I struggled to teach my friends there. And the 10 lectures that I started went to 10, 15 years. But this, not only that, I want to add one more sentence to what Vibhuti Ji is saying. This is the century of the Sanatana Dharma. It has come at an extremely right time because the last 100 years, Arabindo, Kapali Shastri, Kashyap, and to make their readings easier, I have come up with the two books. This is the entry book, as he says, Vedas for Success. Then go the understanding the Vedas. Then there are some essentials of Veda that I recommend in that understanding of the Vedas book. I say, what are the books you should read first? Because any 100-page book that Professor Kashyap has written also has a lot of Vedic terms. You, after 10 pages, you may not be able to follow. This is not any, this thing I'm not teaching my guru. He has opened my eyes. You know, the definition of guru, we say guru. Guru is again a Sanskrit word. Gu means darkness. Ru means removal. Gukaro andagarascha. Rukaro tan niroda, removal. Andagarasya nirodatval guru ityabhidiyade. So the spiritual darkness, why we call someone guru is he is able to remove the spiritual darkness. And another definition to guru is ajnana timirandasya jnananjana salakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai sri gurave namaha. Ajnana timirandasya, just like cataract. Timira means cataract. Ajnana is the ignorance. They're comparing ignorance to cataract. How the cataract is removed by the surgeon, you are able to see better. Similarly, the spiritual ajnanam is removed by the guru, so he is called a guru. Similarly, so I read in my Understanding the Vedas book, in the preface I have written, Chakshurunmilitam yena. Chakshuhu, who removed the cataract in your eye, let you see better. Analogously, who removes your ignorance. And the moment Guru, what means is when we teach this Vedic wisdom, they are removing your spiritual ignorance. Lead a spiritual life. Veda is not a ritual. Veda also says, even though Vedanta says spirit and all that, and we all have heard of Brahman, but Veda calls it by a different name. Tat Egam, that one. Egam Sat Vipra Bahuda Bhavanti.
Right.
Reality is one. Vipra, knowledgeable person, call them by different names. Indram, Agnim, that is the complete sloka, that is verse. That is Rigveda 1.164.46. First mandala, 164 sukta, 46th mantra. Egam Sat Vipra Bahuda Bhavanti, Indram Yamam Madarishwan. So, all these things from the mantra itself, you may know. So, someone has got to the Adhyatmik has to, this is what we say, Veda has very complex, it is in Sanskrit, the meaning, direct meaning may not make sense, some of them, even Adhyatmik meaning, that is why when we read the secret of Veda, we may not be able to fully understand. But Kashyap's book are easy to someone who knows the Vedas and who understands the.
Correct.
That is not what the book is needed. The book is needed for ordinary people. That is what I wrote in the Understanding the Vedas book. That requires patience if you can read it. But as Vibhuti Ji says, this is the one everyone said, no, you have to simplify it more. Give us the essence. We don't have time to read all these things. We don't need. Then we'll come to all these understand later. So that is the background. Now,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful conversation. You
one
wanted to say something? Yeah, yeah.
one sentence I want to read this Arvindo's this Secret of the Veda. Now, this book about 400 or 500 pages. He starts the first sentence. Is there at all, or is there still a secret of the Veda? Is there at all a secret of the Veda, or is there a still secret of the Veda? It is my object in these chapters to suggest a new view of the ancient problem.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Something which you said, which is very, very important for all the viewers to recognize. Swamiji used the word guru and mantra. These two words have profound meaning for our way of life. Guru and mantra. Mantra are utterances or the condensation of thoughts that words make things happen, right? That's the English translation of that. Look at how the media in the West, and that's what I want you to take your action. The CNNs and the Foxes of the world, MSNBC of the world, the BBC of the world, they ridicule these words, guru and mantra, in a remarkably pejorative way. They will use these words, the gurus of this and mantras of that. Let's take a united effort to warn these institutions that you cannot use our words, which mean so much to us, in such a pejorative way, or making a slight on the meaning of the word.
You excellently put the word mantra. I will give the Sanskrit word of the word mantra. Manana trayate iti mantraha. By mind, it protects you. That is the mantra.
That's
so,
right.
just like you go to a doctor and he gives you a pill or herbal, whatever thing, that protects the physical ailment. This mantra, by your mind, when you are inviting the cosmic energy, universal energies that are here, that energy is coming and that protects you. You may ask, how does the mantra is going to protect you? Manana. Our Sanskrit has exact given the definition. So the mantra and guru, I gave you two Sanskrit, and we must proactively say, no one, you guys don't know this. You cannot use this manner.
Exactly.
This is the correct means, guru.
Correct.
I will put this together and we will all go this in much detail to the people.
Correct. We will do that. We'll
Yes.
do that. Thank you very much, Swamiji. It's wonderful to hear you so involved and animated to talk about this, and so am I. Let's put it this way. There is indeed a greater awakening amongst Indians, specifically Hindus, to figure out a way from the nonchalant way in which we are attacked globally. And it is not a flimsy matter. It's a very serious matter. So I would urge all of you, before I close, next time we talk, read the book, get the book. It's 89 pages only. It's less than, the cost is less than 2 cafe lattes from Starbucks. It's not the money, it's the concept. Get inspired. It's only the inspiration that comes that you draw the energy from. So if you are not drawing energy from this conversation, then heaven also can't help you. So I would put it that way to you. So in joke, in lighter vein, take yourself seriously. We want to succeed. And the important part is Vedas teach you an all round success. It's not about becoming a great surgeon or a great NASA scientist. With due respect to Dr. Swami, it's about achieving success in every sense of the term. So thank you for watching us. Thank you for the patience. Thank you, Dr. Swami. We will do the show again once you come back from India, and so will I. And we will be in India around the same time. So thank you. Please like, subscribe, and support our channel. Give us your feedback. It matters to us. And as I always say, Satyameva Jayate, for truth to triumph, you have to stand for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vibhuti Ji. I'm very happy to hear. And whenever you are ready, please, we can find a mutually convenient time, and we will take this detail in steps so that the vast scriptures people at their pace can read and lead a life of thing that will give them success, purpose, and bliss.
Thank you.
All these things will happen.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.